Hey everyone, it's Tōsei. This is the first video of this new project of mine, the middle way at middle age. The term or the tagline I've been thinking about for this, which I think kind of encapsulates what I want this all to be about, is discovering the joy and peace of Zen after living your life in a hurricane, which I think is, well, that's a lot of us, particularly after, like me, a half century plus of life. And certainly after the last couple of years, I think that's a good kind of encapsulation of all of us. So because this is the first video, I thought I'd spend a little bit of time kind of telling you about my journey and how I found my way to the middle way here after a lifetime of living on the hurricane. In the late 80s, I was in Camp Pendleton in Southern California. I was in the Marine Corps. And I had been involved in martial arts in high school, and so I had been exposed to meditation, I guess. I was going to say meditative practices, but I'm not quite so sure that's true. I didn't know a lot. I mean, who does at that age, but who does even now? But I didn't know a lot about what I was doing, but I knew that sitting gave me some sort of benefits, or at least I felt it did. I could concentrate a little bit better. I had an opportunity to slow down, once during the day, sort of thing. And I was, as I said, I was in Southern California. I was at Camp Pendleton. And so my call sign was the Surfing Buddha, which, Southern California, I was big into body surfing, and it stuck. And after the Marine Corps, I had a life. I got married, still married, went to school, went to graduate school, spent 25 or so years starting and building businesses, something I really enjoyed. I liked very much the challenges that you get with that, and particularly the challenge of bringing an idea to life and sharing it with others. But throughout that whole period, I still read around. I still sat, not regularly, but irregularly. I went through periods of sitting and not sitting, and I still wasn't being serious about it. I guess serious is the right word. I was playing at meditation, playing at Buddhism, playing at Zen, and after 25 years of doing this work all over the world, for little startups to Fortune 500s to national governments. And after my wife said, "Why don't you stop that and get a life?" I did. And one of the things I decided to do now that I had the time was do some more reading. There's a term called book zen. You become engaged with Zen through your reading, and that's great. Reading's a good thing, but it also is not really the idea of Zen, particularly Soto Zen, but Zen generally. We are a people of community. And I didn't have that. And I didn't have a teacher, and I hadn't had a teacher. I didn't have a community. I hadn't had either, for all of the time I'd been sitting or putatively engaged in this practice of mine. And so when I got a chance to really start digging into it, I discovered something pretty interesting. my graduate work had been in the humanities, social sciences, humanities particularly. And, and the humanities provides a set of tools. It's a toolbox for understanding humans and how we deal with the world and how we deal with each other. And it's a very useful set of tools for all sorts of things. And I took those tools to my businesses. And what I found was that Zen offers not a replacement set of tools; it's a complementary set of tools. It offers another way, a different way, an alternative way, an additional way to understand yourself and understand our relationship to one another and to the world and to reality. And that was pretty. That was a pretty damn cool discovery. A couple of years ago, I found a community and I found a teacher that was willing to accept the fact that I was living all over the place. And it was pretty amazing going from the Zen of the book to Zen of the community, what we call a Sangha. And it was, I think it's fair to say, it transformed the way in which I saw my own life, both my past and my present, and certainly my future. Our lives are so fragmentary, and we, amongst all other creatures, we create narratives, right, to stitch together these experiences so that we have some sort of coherent sense of self. We have some story we can tell about ourselves. And one of the things that Zen teaches, and I think if we're really honest, one of the things the humanities reveals is that by and large, that is, we live fictional lives, created lives, because often what we have to do to stitch together parts of our life just isn't true. And that's okay. I mean, we can have, and people do have great, wonderful lives and tell fantastic stories to themselves and to each other about who they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I guess I'm a product of my generation, and certainly of my experiences in the world, that the idea of getting to a truer and, more authentic view of myself and the world seems really appealing. And so about a year ago, I took Jukai, which is it's a formal embracing of the precepts of Buddhism and through the lens of Soto Zen, which made me an official member, I guess, of this community. And now, as I continue to practice, and as my practice continues to both broaden and deepen, I think I think there are some discoveries I'm making, maybe, and some insights I'm gleaning that I think might be really helpful for people like me who have come to this path, who've come to this middle way, which is what Buddhism is often described as a middle way, not too extreme on either end. Who have come to the middle way after really living a life, after having really hurt and in enthused and felt joy and sorrow and have experienced death. And it's not a, I don't think it's a practice, at least it hasn't been a practice for me for lost people. It's a practice for people who have always felt they knew who they were and are suddenly discovering maybe they don't, and that's okay. And there's a way to understand it and accept it and be okay with it. Radical acceptance. And so I want to share those discoveries and what insights that those insights that I'm gleaning with others. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I really am enormously grateful you may choose to spend some time over the next however long it is that this is going on, that these videos, that I can make these videos, that I can continue to find new and interesting and helpful and real things in my practice that you too might find useful and real and might really resonate with your own life. So that's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Gasho.